What's going on, man? It's your big brother K-Rino, and y'all are tuned in again to another episode of K-Rino Radio, man. We got the visual version popping tonight, man. And this brother I got with me tonight, I'm so honored to have him with me because I feel as though he is among the individuals in this city and in the industry, period, that deserve so much more recognition and accolades because his resume is so thick. His resume is so extreme, and he has been a part of the very bloodline in the city of Houston, in the southern region, in the industry, man. Super producer, legendary producers, produced for the SUC, but he's also produced for a lot of major artists and major label artists as well. Um, One of the originators of the Houston sound and one of the greatest producers, most humble cats I know, my brother Solo is in the building. What's going on, family?
Man, bro, after that, man, I'm ready to go, man. After that intro, hey, man, I appreciate, man. It's an honor to be here with you, man. I look up to you, man. One of my favorite MCs. I'm just happy to be here, man, talking to you, brother.
No, I'm happy to have you, bro. I've been doing these segments, and of course, I'm open to talk to everybody, but certain people just cross my mind. I'm like, oh, I gotta talk to this brother. I gotta talk to this sister, and you one of the people because as a producer, and we're gonna get into all of that, but as a producer, in my opinion, it's like you guys set the tone for everything that we do. Y'all are the ones that if we just standing here floating, y'all are the ones who slide that foundation up under our feet, being those tracks. And people will recognize the music, but they don't always know the man or the woman behind the music. So
Right.
when did you first get into production? What sparked your interest in that? And what made you say, I want to do production?
Yeah, man. I was in college, man, and messing around with the keyboards, and I actually was playing football, man, and I got hurt, and man, I always liked keyboards and always liked music, you know what I'm saying? Growing up in the house, listening to, old school stuff or whatever, all the classics or whatever. Man, I just started messing around. I bought me a sampler and shit. I met ESG, was going to the same college that I was. And we just hooked up, started making music together. From
Let
that
me
point
ask
on.
you this. I actually had this on my list of what I wanted to ask you because I asked different producers this. What's the first keyboard or the first thing you use when you start doing? Because I go back to the old the ASR, the EPS, and all that. Just
Yeah.
from my era. What was the first keyboard you used when you started producing?
Yeah, you just said it, man. I had an EPS. I had not even the EPS 16. I had just the regular EPS. And I did like most of my stuff on there in the beginning or whatever. Then, we did a couple songs in the studio. I first going to the studio. I was like, man, I got to upgrade. Then I bought that ASR and it was on from there.
You know what's crazy? And a lot of people up until probably about I can remember having conversations with people 10 years ago, as recently as 10 years ago, and they still rave and brag about how good of a sampling mechanism the ASR is. And some people, a handful of producers, I know they still mess with it, but they up to date, but they still use it for other things that they want to use it for, man.
Right. You can't duplicate that type of sampling engine, and the way you're able to edit on that ASR is a lot different than what we had today. I mean, we have stuff that you can do it with now, but it's something about the effects and stuff that they had inside of that ASR that was, I don't know, it was magical, man. That board. I wish I still had one. Yeah.
Man, look, so when was the first time you put down a track that made you say, you know what? I think I got something. Because as a rapper, I know I had to go through a phase where early on, my stuff was just boo-boo. I was like, I'm just trying to find my way.
Right.
Eventually you find your way. You're like, okay, I know I'm ready. When did you have that moment as a producer?
Man, Reno, man, it's crazy because I really never had the stage of trying to like try it out, man. Because the first time I ever went into the studio, the first time I actually put tracks together was like the six songs we did for ESG that wound up making his album. So we down in Louisiana, we go to a Zydeco studio, and I'm still playing around with it. I mean, I know I like it, but I don't know this is gonna be what I'm gonna be doing. You know, I'm in school and messing around or whatever. So, man, wound up making it. Really, half of that Ocean of Funk record was done in the dorm. You know what I'm saying? And we go to walk across the street to a Zydeco studio and lay it down. And I didn't really realize it was gonna be something until ESG had left school, and they calling me and telling me, they playing one of the songs, you know what I'm saying, it's getting really popular down here. So I'm like, oh,
Right.
it's gonna be on.
Man, that's crazy. But so that what really all that says is that you was a natural, because just to have your first go at it, and then not only one or two of the tracks make the album, but like you said, that many tracks that you did actually make the album, and then not just that, not just stopping right there, but classic, like swinging and banging, like
Yeah.
it's like so. See, and then what I like about it is that as a producer, and I want you to speak on this too.
Mhm.
Picture the club scene. We in the club or whatever. We've known this all our life. When the music comes on, as soon as the DJ mixed the song in, everybody start going crazy before the rapper even raps, because
Right,
they're familiar with that production. They know
right.
what song is getting ready to be. So I think that you set the tone for rappers. You set the tone for R&B singers, because that bed that you place under us is so important and so vital, man.
I
Do
appreciate it.
you look at it that way? Do you look at it like that?
I definitely do, man. I mean, over time, it took me, I was able to learn that, you know what I'm saying, and actually appreciate it about myself and about all producers or whatever, that, it's that it's a lot of the times, like, with artists I work with, they don't even come to me with idea or whatever. They base their idea off of the feeling they get when they hear the music. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? So it's like I feel like I inspired a lot of different vibes off of them coming in and picking the track, and then getting an idea, or we chop it up and get an idea together. So yeah, I definitely agree with that, man. And I love that feeling when it comes on in the club and people go crazy or whatever. They start to, they know what's coming next. You know what I'm saying? So
The crazy part, and that's an interesting dynamic that you mentioned, the dynamic between making the track and having it already ready, not
right,
knowing what it's gonna be, and then
right,
the artist comes in and say, I'm feeling that, and then they create off of it, compared to sitting down with a guy and y'all bouncing ideas, and then you build around his
right,
vision as well. And I know as a producer, you've done both,
right.
but in my opinion, there's no right or wrong formula to
No,
that. Do you have a preference? Would you rather sit down with a guy and say, well, man, I see this for you? Or is it like, hey, if you pick something I already got and you like it, do you?
man, it's really either way. You know what I'm saying? I can appreciate both vibes. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the times, like now at this stage in my career, most of the time people just pick something. You know what I'm saying? It's a couple of people that come to me and say, "Hey, I want this" or whatever. But it's really whatever works well with me and the artist. Like swinging and banging, man. Like that, after we had did those 6 songs in Louisiana, uh, we're messing with Screw and everything. I go down to Houston and I make the swinging and banging beat. Really, it's the first time I'm really playing the keys. Like all the other stuff, the 6 songs we did before were samples. And I just decided, man, I'm gonna go on here and mess around with the keys and play it. I came up with that melody, and you know, some of ESG's boys, man, Nikki and Swift, they're the ones that started coming up with the whole swinging thing. So what I'm saying, and E jumped on it, man. I ain't gonna lie, bro, that was a vibe right there. You know what I mean? So, and
Right.
then in the other case, I've had songs where they just came in and picked the beat and vibed off of that. So it can work both ways. You know how it goes.
Absolutely. It's like as a rapper, as a rapper, it works the same way. Like, you may write a song before you ever hear a beat, have a beat for it, or
Right,
you might receive the beat first, and then the beat dictates to the rapper
Right.
vibe of it, like you just said, man. We here with the great, the one and only super producer Solo. Man, one of the best albums that you are known for among the many is the Don't Mess with Texas album when you did the production for KeKe, man. I was like, see, in classics, it's a difference between he produced some cool stuff compared to this dude have produced classics, man.
Appreciate
Put us in a time machine for a second and talk about like with ESG with the whole KeKe and how that thing came together like that.
Yeah, I met KeKe when we were doing the DEA record, man, and he was coming to my house, man. He was pulling up cabs or whatever. He was getting there, you know what I'm saying? We started vibing or whatever. And when he got his deal with Jam Down, he came back and got me. You know what I'm saying? And actually, man, that happened so quick because he was trying to finish the record. He is already working with Double D. It was just me and Double D on that record. And I think Love was on there too. Yeah, Love and maybe Swift. I'm not sure, but or Slack. Um, and man, we did those songs so fast, man. It's like he was coming to the highs, picking the beats, going to Jam Down and dropping them. You know what I'm saying? So our vibe was always cool. Like, you know, he was a fan of whatever of the production I did on the ESG plus the DEA. The Heart of a Hustler song was so popular. You know what I'm saying? That was one of the ones that actually when I really realized that, man, I can, do it with multiple artists, you know what I'm saying? Because I was just with ESG at first. So yeah, me and KeKe, like he picked the song is going down, that was like the first one. And then Double D dropped the South Side. And then I came back with the Still Pimpin' Pins.
Wow.
So so it was like, man, we was rolling back and forth and feeding off of each other, and it was the energy was live though. But we did all that don't mess with Texas in like 2 weeks.
Wow, that's crazy, man. And it's insane because something you just said a second ago, when you discovered your ability to work with different types of artists, I think that's one of a great producer's biggest strengths
Right,
that he can morph into, okay, I can work with this guy, but
right,
when I go to this guy, he may want a totally different sound, and you able to deliver that too.
right.
So was that your like your training ground for that early on? Like, hey, the light came on that I can be versatile and not just have to deal with one type of artist.
Right, right. It definitely was because, like, man, I was a hip hop dude, man. I was walking around Louisiana with baggy pants and a backpack on. You know what I'm saying? I was straight leaders of the new school, Busta Rhymes type.
Right,
All
right.
East Coast rap. You know what I'm saying? So, and when I went to Louisiana, I started liking the bounce. You know what I'm saying? But I still had the soul in me. So, once I left Louisiana and was messing with E, like my Houston guys were on more, slab riding, and so I mixed my little flavor with that, you know what I'm saying? And it was like a different sound that wasn't going on at that time. You know what I'm saying? I was really pulling from every coast, the West Coast with Dre, uh, the East Coast, and then I mixed some Southern soul in it, and that was my flavor. You know what I'm saying? I started playing more, like Heart of a Hustler, Pimp the Pen, all those are originals. You know what I'm saying? That a lot of people say, oh, he sampled, but you know what I'm saying? Like all my real classics are all original.
I think, man, one of the things too that makes a great producer is it has to naturally be in you. You have to just somehow just have it in you because a lot of the people I know, like, I came up working with Dopey and guys like that. And then when you was talking earlier about how you reached a point where you start messing with the keys,
Yeah,
it's like that tells me you never had no official training and all that. You just hear it,
yeah,
find it on the keyboard and let it go. But
yeah.
now I see you from time to time. You'll go on live on Facebook and you'll be playing these chords and playing these tracks that have not just a hip hop feel to it, but also a touch of R&B to it. And you playing them chords. So you just basically self-taught yourself, right?
Yeah, most definitely, man. I wish still to this day, I should have, you know, taken some lessons, and I could have gotten even better with my progressions, but I was kind of scared to take away my natural feel. You know what I'm saying? It's because like I don't want to go to the keyboard with something in mind and say, oh, I want to, you know, do it this way. I just want to go off of my feeling. You know what I'm saying? The mood that I'm in. A lot of times I'm in a sad mood. I'm in a happy mood. I'm in a pissed off mood, or whatever it is. I just want to express it when I'm on the board. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I just never, you know, went. I didn't want to be too technical. I just want to be straight feeling. You know what I mean? So
Right,
yeah,
no
I
doubt.
wish I never took any lessons.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it's never too late. You know, I've been having in my mind to go take some piano lessons, man. So
Right.
yeah, I think what it does, it just it allows you to maybe do things more technically
Yeah.
that you may not be able to do. But as long as you got the ear,
Right.
it don't matter. You know, it just allows you, I guess, to explode, you know,
Right.
more technically, man. You
It
know,
definitely does. It definitely expands, like you said, expands your ability to do just more things. I think the first lessons I'm gonna take is gonna be guitar lessons.
yeah,
Then I'll go, you know, try to go back and do some keys.
yeah, no doubt, no doubt. You implement a lot of live instruments, but you'll bring guys in
Yeah.
play stuff like that. Yeah, I knew Pimp C used to do that a lot. You know, Pimp
Yeah.
C would hear things, but if it's something he couldn't play, I'm gonna
Yeah.
bring a guy in that can
Yeah.
play it and bring my vision of light. And George Clinton was the same way. George Clinton really couldn't play, but he could hear it and he could
Right.
tell other people
What
how
to
he wanted. That's
that,
still producing.
yeah, that's
He
producing.
not touching no instrument. You
Nah.
know, that's still a form of that's still production, man. That's beautiful.
Producing. Yeah, it's his idea, it's his vision. Is he wants he gonna put the final touches on the song. Is you know, even if it's a hired musician or whatever, it's still his production. You know, like all that Kiki stuff. That, you know, still pimping pins. You can hear it. That's live guitar in there. That boom boom boom. You know, that dude playing that's Carl Johnson. He in there playing that. You know what I'm saying? After ESG era, all through that Big Hawk and Pat and all that stuff, I was live guitar on pretty much everything. You know, I had to have it at that point. Once you get it, that
Yeah.
feel.
It hit the vein. You got to have it now every day. Yeah,
I
no
need it
question.
in there. You know what I'm saying?
Let me ask you this, man. Okay, so I think about this when I think about artists that had a longevity that you have, you know, as a producer. There's so many classic songs and classic hit records that you have put together. If somehow, man, you would have just never decided to get into production and said, I never would have done, it would have been such a void because a lot of those tracks we wouldn't have. And if we had them, they would probably be under different beats that may not have had the impact, man. Do you sit back and reflect on like your legacy and like what you've contributed to this game? Do you sit back on that sometime and go, man, hey, I'm just not being conceited, man. I'm pretty important out here, man. My name is in stone out here.
Yeah, you know what, man? I ain't gonna lie, man. I do, but I really don't spend much time doing that, man, because I still feel like that I'm climbing, that, you know, that I'm going to the level where, you know, that I haven't been yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, there's still levels to get to where I can feel like, okay, now I've made it, now I arrived. Those accomplished, you know, those are in the past. Like there's some producers that are out here that are, you know, like mad because they're not being recognized for the things that they did in the past. Instead of you know, creating new legacies and new things that we can do, you know, or bring up somebody up under you that you could say you raised that person and they, you know, they took your flavor and they went to another level. That's the type of things that I'm looking forward to in my career. I can't spend time thinking about other stuff, you know, old stuff and worrying about those accolades because this is music, you know what I'm saying? There's there's 100,000 people right now sitting in the lab making songs, you know. So and they'll be old in a week or so. You know what I'm saying? So I want to create new stuff and go to new levels where, you know, I can sit back and my kids can sit back and reap, you know, lifelong benefits from it.
You know what? And I'm gonna tell you why I 100% believe every word you said, because I never see you reflecting back on, well, I was the one that did this. I was the one that did that. You basically just, you keep moving forward, you keep moving forward to almost to a fault, because it's like you have to, other people will have to remind, no, this is the guy that did this the dude that did that. And it's, and the resume is just not no little resume. The resume is in a scroll. This laid out. So, but if you don't do it, trust me, you know, it's other people out here that understand and recognize your contributions, and we'll continue to let people know. It's something you said a second ago I wanted to ask you about. Are there any young rappers or even young producers that you are bringing up under your wing, or have in the past, that you're looking at? Do you take on that role at all?
Yeah, man. I mean, it's the list is long, man. But recently here, I've been watching my nephew and my daughter, and actually both of my nephews. One of them, DJ Jigga, he's slowly becoming one of the most popular DJs in the city. He moved from Baton Rouge down here. I made sure I didn't say, I didn't try to co-sign him. I want him to get it out the dirt, just like I did. Um, and man, he's becoming something really big. And actually, he produces and raps too. So that's something that we about to get into and expand on or whatever. And several producers, man. I mean, producers, man. There's so many of them that are so talented, man. And I learned a lot from the young guys that I was working with at the Den. A cat named Starship. Official the Kid, man. All these young kids, man. They're not young kids, but they're younger than me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And they have the flavor, and they appreciate my stuff as well, which I like. You know what I'm saying? Because some of these young kids they don't they don't show they don't pay homage to. That's fine. But these guys, they appreciated my sound, and they taught me new techniques as well. You know what I'm saying? So we can bounce off stuff off each other. So I appreciate that.
We appreciate the humility of a legend that still has the kind of heart to say, I can learn from the younger
Oh
dudes,
yeah.
because I think that's one of the things that hinders a lot of rappers as well. It's like, man, I done did this, I done did that. They need to bow down and kiss my feet. I ain't nothing I can learn from them. So to
Yeah.
hear you say that you work with these younger producers and you actually learn from them, I think that's one of the lost keys to longevity that a lot of the older artists, they don't catch on to. So
Man.
that's wisdom right there, bro.
Yeah, that's all facts, bro. That all that has kept me, what I'm saying? I expanded my whole, you know, I was just a beat maker. Now, I'm an engineer. I'm mixing. I'm doing everything. You know what I'm saying? That was all from learning from the younger producers, man. You know what I'm saying? I didn't go to no school. I just sat in there and they taught me.
Yeah,
Was willing to teach me. You know what I'm saying? And I asked questions.
right.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I appreciate them, and I'm sure they appreciate me for giving them game and and experiences that I've had, and what not to or what to jump on.
And when you talk about engineering, also, I wanted to ask you about the Astroworld and the Waterworld projects that you did,
Yeah.
and the testament to your character in terms of being able to reach out to all of the artists that you reached out to for those projects, and they came and they responded.
Yeah.
Everybody wouldn't have been able to pull that off. Even if it's people that they had worked with, they wouldn't have been able to pull that off, man. And as an engineer, a producer that transitioned over to engineering, what level of control and organization did you have to have just to put that whole thing together, man, and get guys where you wanted to get them, like almost like a coach?
Right.
How'd you work and develop that?
Yeah, man. I tell I tell people, man, all the time that those projects, man, it just took a lot of patience, man. You're working with we're older artists or whatever. People got families and
Yeah.
and responsibilities and all kind of things. And you know, it was nights I used to sit in the lab waiting on people. You know, just been there and be sitting in there just waiting, and they wouldn't come. You know what I did the next day? I wouldn't get on the phone and be like, "Hey man, what's up?" I'd be like, "Bro, I appreciate you know what I'm saying or whatever. We let me know when you have time, and I'll be available." You know what I'm saying. So the biggest thing with that record, man, was just patience. It took a while.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? With everybody coming in and doing, you know, I had a lot of people on there.
Yeah.
Waterworld had 30 something songs. Asteroid had 17, 18. No, we had double CD on Asteroid too. I'm tripping. So man, like you say, it was like a coach, a good coach with patience that understood his, you know, all his players.
Yeah.
And some of them, of course, some of them going to be punctual and say they won't be there at that time. Then you got the ones, you know, superstar
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
were gonna come in and whenever they felt like it and act like they were doing me a favor when you know
Yeah.
sometimes man you know they could have owed me something you know what I'm saying and in the back of their head they're acting like they're doing me a favor but actually you know they really not.
Oh yeah, I got you. I got you. The key is they did come. You know
They
that's the
came.
and then you know and that's a good point too because you know I think about that sometimes just even as a rapper sometimes you say well I'm gonna get this guy on the record I'm gonna get this guy on the record and then it just takes them forever and ever and ever and you know life getting away but
They do that to you.
I've had it done to me, bro.
I
Trust and
can't
believe.
believe that is
Trust and believe. I've
that's
had
bad.
guys what I reached out to and I still ain't got them on there. But the difference is, you know, just like the difference with me is like you get a frame of time
Yeah,
before I say, all right, I'm moving on.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
I don't need you on my project,
right,
but I want you on it because I respect you. But at certain point, I'm like, okay, you know what? It's somebody that would be honored to jump in this 16 this spot right here. Just like
yeah,
if people, hey man, I'll be honored to get on this solo project. So you
right.
know, it ain't up to person because you know that guys be doing their own thing, and a lot of times it's not something you can charge to their heart. They don't really have. They just be doing stuff. You know,
Yeah,
so I
yeah,
just charge it to their mind, but I'm not gonna wait on you.
right.
I gotta finish my project. You know what
I
I'm
feel
saying?
you. Yeah.
Straight up, man. We are here with the one and only Solo, man, a super producer, man. He's produced for so many. Who are some of the people that you haven't worked with? I don't care what genre. It could be rap R&B that you would love to work with, dead or alive, that you haven't worked with.
Man, I'm gonna go with the live people, man. I so far, man. Of course, you know the legends. I ain't gonna lie, man. Man, I always tell people, man, I want to work with Chris Brown.
Mm,
Chris Brown hard to me, like he
yeah,
just he make hits, man.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
I like Chris Brown. Like you know, I like Beyonce. I never did anything with Beyonce.
yeah.
Um, man, rapper wise, J Cole.
Mm,
Uh, I mean, I work with a lot of people. I just recently, man, you know, this is on the low. This is exclusive. I just did something else with Drake.
yeah.
So that's supposed to come out in September. So I mean, so I've reached. I don't know. I just like working, man. I get good vibes when I do music, man. It don't matter if they big or small, whoever, man. Like I still get excited when I make songs.
Yeah.
It's not like even though the ones that you know people are paying for beats and I might not ever hear it, I still get excited at the process of making music, man. I love it. I love the the way I can create, and I love how I can express myself when I get on my board. You know what I'm saying? I can get out some of the pain or some of the happiness or whatever, you know what I'm saying, through my music.
Well, you know, you got basketball players, they call them a guy who's always working, they call him a gym rat. You know,
Yeah,
you got in our world, you got people that are lab rats. And they
right,
don't mean like experiment, just like I'm in the lab all the time, just getting.
right.
And you one of those people. Seem like every time like when I see you online, it's some equipment behind you. You know what I'm saying? You it's either in front of you or it's
Yeah,
behind you because that means you stand in the lab. I think it's important, you know, for a lot of younger artists or artists period to know that what you just said, that the fact that you love it is what keeps you going, because when you lose that love for it, your creative juices start to drain out. You know,
Right.
so if you want to speak to that'll be, we love to hear how have you been able to maintain your love for it in an industry where we know how dirty and cutthroat it can be.
Right, right. Well, there's another thing that I always tell people, and I used to tell the youngsters or whatever, man, like, man, I ain't never stressed on the music part because I always worked a job.
Yeah,
Even at the height of my career, like even when I was making, you know, 7, 8,000, 10,000 a week selling beats, I still had a job. So what that does for me and what it did for me was like it gave me balance. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't ever like stressed out or like, man, if I don't sell it 2 beats this week, then I don't know what I'm gonna do, how I'm gonna pay my bills.
right.
So the, I never worried about certain things. So the music was always my extra.
Mm.
So it was always my recreation. It was always my outlet. You know what I'm saying? To you know, get out certain things in myself. And dude, I'm still going through stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I still need a way to express myself. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't no killer. You
Mm.
know what I'm saying? I exercise. That's my other way, my other outlet. And then I express myself on my music, man. That's what I do. And I'm just fortunate that, you know, that people still dig it and people still, you know, they still purchase it, man. And we have outlet and mediums like social media where I can let people, you know, hear what I'm doing without being out, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
all time tonight or whatever. I could just sit back and orchestrate or whatever and create a buzz from the crib.
No question, man. Well, please give any social media information, any projects you got coming. Let us know about it right now so that people can be ready to jump behind it, big brother.
Yeah, man. I'm Sean Solo Jemison, Facebook and Instagram. And man, I got a bunch of projects, so it's hard to name everything. But my last, well, I keep saying it's gonna be my lab, but I'm gonna do. I did the Asteroid Water World, but I'm gonna do McGregor Park. You know,
Okay, all right. Hey,
you know, you got.
hey, that's my
Yeah,
stomping grounds.
yeah, I already know.
Already.
No, so well, I'm gonna do that, man, and you know, I'm gonna start working on that in the summer, man, and I'm gonna drop my own little single, man, called Girl Dad. You know what I'm saying? It's like gonna be an up tempo, feel good song. I'm gonna have everybody out in the video, and we're gonna have fun, and you know, man, I got daughters, man, so I wanna make us. Well, I already started on it. It's gonna be special. That's really, you know, saying the basic things I got going on right now. I mean, the Drake thing. I mean, I'm working with everybody. You know, Pokey, Zero. Me and Zero got a new single coming.
Mm.
Uh, shit, man. E40 just did something with E40. Man, I don't know, man. It's too much. Too much, man. I'll be working.
Too much is a beautiful thing, man. You know, you
Real
deserve
talk.
it, brother. You've been had your foot on the gas since day one, and you are definitely one of the producers who has helped to shape the whole culture of this region, definitely in this city and in the game, period, bro. So I appreciate you coming on with your big
Man,
brother like this, man. And anything you need from me, don't hesitate to hit me up. You know what it is.
appreciate you, man. It's an honor, man. Always, man. Much love, bro.
Same to you. Appreciate it.